Hey, welcome back everyone to another fun-filled season of fantasy football. You are watching the very first video of the FFL15 presented by VP Marketing Solutions League. There are several changes this year, which I'll go over in this video. But first thing is first, we need to figure out who's going to be in the league because right now we have 17 people who want to play and we don't have that many spots. So what we are going to do is we're going to expand the league from 12 teams to 16 teams. But that still means someone's going to get left out. So here's how we're going to figure out who gets to play. If you're an existing champion, anyone who's previously won any of La Liga's 47 championships, whether it's March Madness, fantasy football, baseball playoff pool, doesn't matter what it is. If you've ever won any of our championships, you're automatically invited to join this league. So, for example, myself, Joe Gianosa, Jameson, Omar, Kyle, and a few others, you're guaranteed a spot in the league. If you've never won any of the championships that we've had in the league, then those spots will be taken on a first come, first served basis by the rest of you. So the sooner you get your money in, the sooner you'll be guaranteed a spot. So again, first come, first served. Get your money in to be guaranteed a spot. Don't be the last person to pay because you're not going to get to play. Also, if any of you don't want to play in a 16-person league, no problem. Just let me know. We'll take you out, and that solves our problem of having too many players with not enough spots. So just let me know. PayPal your $100 to Victor at vpmarketingsolutions.com, or you can Venmo me, pay me in person with cash, or do a Bank of America transfer. Doesn't matter how you do it, just do it soon to guarantee yourself a spot. And as you just heard, the buy-in amount is $100 this year, so that is changing. Last year it was $50. This year it's technically only a $75 buy-in, but you're going to deposit an additional $25 to cover any fines you may incur. We're doing fines just like last year, so if you start a player on a bye week, or if you start a player who's on injured reserve, anything that's detrimental to the league, you'll be fined anywhere from $5 to $15. Most fees and fines are just $5, but we saw Omar get fined $15 last year for one incident, so $15 is the max you can get fined for the whole season. Okay. Moving on, part of the additional $25 you'll also deposit is to cover your first few transactions. This year we're going to charge each player for each transaction they make. So if you pick up a player, you're going to pay $1. If you drop a player, it's also a transaction. You're going to pay another $1. So if you drop a player and pick up a player, that's not one transaction. That's not one transaction. That's two transactions. You'll pay $2. All that money from the transactions is just going to go into the price pool. So it's not like I'm keeping the money. It's just being on almost as part of the buy-in, but it goes in the price pool. But this is cool because someone might not pick up certain player because they don't want to spend the extra $1. Like I know, for example, Emilio Diaz for sure will spend less money than everyone else on his transactions just because that's how he is. So if you want to drop players every single day like Omar, you're going to have to deposit more money because you're going to have more than 25 transactions. So that's another one of the changes this year. Since we're expanding to 16 teams, we're going to up the number of teams that make the playoffs. No, it's not going to be 10 teams or 12 teams making the playoffs. This is not Robert Gonzalez's league. But since we're having 16 teams, we're going to allow 6 teams to make the playoffs. Just like in the NFC, for example, there's 16 teams in the NFL NFC, and 6 of those make the playoffs. So we're going to have 4 divisions. The 4 division winners are going to make the playoffs, just like in the NFL. And 2 wildcard teams are also going to make the playoffs in our league. So the best 2 teams will have a first-round bye, just like in the NFL, and the other 4 teams will play in the wildcard round. Okay. I lost my training of thought. Give me 1 second. I should have used that YouTube Capture app that I have used in the past, so I could just kind of cut this out, but I didn't. So you guys just have to watch this part till I can remember what I was going to say. Okay. Oh, okay. So we're changing the divisions. So last year, for example, Emilio and Jameson were the 2 best teams, and they were in the same division. Well, if we kept the divisions the same, that wouldn't happen anyways because everyone's going to have brand new players. There are no keeper players, so that doesn't matter, but we change the divisions every year anyways. And just to make it a little bit more exciting, we're going to do this year. We're going to have conference captains. So, for example, 2 of the divisions are going to be in our AFC, and the other 2 divisions are going to be in our NFC on the other side. So, Emilio will be the captain of the NFC since he's the defending champion, and Omar, who is the previous defending champion before Emilio won last year, will be the captain of the NFC. So what they'll do is they're going to look at everyone's names who's playing, and they're literally going to take turns picking who they want in their division, so in their leagues. So they're going to pick 7 players to join them in their conference, and the other person will do the same. So for example, they'll see a pool of the other 14 players, and they'll pick, for example, they'll pick Kyle, who really has no idea what he's doing. They'll pick Kyle, and they'll put him in his division or conference because they want to play him, because you're only going to play people in your conference, if that makes sense. Okay, so they'll take turns picking until there's no one left. So in theory, whoever got picked last is the player they feared the most, the player who they don't want in their league at all, and they're hoping the other person picks them. So we'll see who that will be. Apparently, Emilio is very, very afraid of Jameson's team for some unknown reason. He thinks he's so good because he went like 12-1 last year, but that's not going to happen this year. He's going to have totally different players. He's not going to have all those lucky players he got last year. So those are some of the changes. There's probably additional changes coming soon. I don't know when the draft is. Ignore all the previous posts I made because, as you guys saw, not everyone can make those times. And guys, with 16 players, there's no way I could ever accommodate everyone with the perfect time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a survey essentially, and you guys are all going to vote on the select times that I picked, dates and times, and whichever date and time gets the most votes, that's when the draft's going to be. So only vote once, vote for the time you would ideally want it to be, and whichever time gets the most votes, that's when it's going to be. And if you can't make it, then I'm sorry. Do what you can. There's internet pretty much everywhere. This is still a couple of weeks away, so you have time to change your plans and figure something out. Okay, so that's the best way to do it, because I'm getting all these texts of when each person can and can't do it, and guess what? There's no way I can possibly accommodate everyone. Okay, so looking forward to another fun-filled season. Again, get your payments in to guarantee your spot. There's not enough spots for everyone who wants to play, so send your payment today. $100, right? Talk to you soon. Bye.